Three wives went on a girls' trip and came back with the biggest mistake of their lives. They thought their husbands would never find out. They thought the beach was too far, the nights were too dark, and the lies were too perfect. But one photo, just one, destroyed everything. In the next 30 seconds, you're going to hear how three betrayed husbands joined forces, how they uncovered hidden footage, secret messages, and a truth their wives desperately tried to bury, and how a simple vacation turned into the most shocking betrayal these men had ever seen. This isn't a story about cheating. It's a story about exposure, consequences, and three men who refused to stay silent. Stay with me, because what happened next will leave you absolutely speechless. Mark never imagined that one tiny sound, a camera shutter, could completely shatter his life. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon while he was cleaning his office desk. His phone buzzed, displaying an anonymous Instagram message request. Curious, he opened it. At first, he thought it was spam. But when the picture loaded, his heart slammed into his ribs like it wanted to break free. There she was, his wife, Hannah, smiling in a way she hadn't smiled for him in months. She sat on the lap of a man Mark had never seen, her fingers tangled in his hair, her face inches from his. Behind her were her two closest friends, Mia and Clara, each wrapped around strangers like they were on a romantic vacation, not a girl's healing trip. Mark blinked, hoping it was old, edited, fake, but then more photos came, different angles, different moments, different nights. Videos too, Hannah dancing on the beach, holding hands with the same man, running into the waves under the moonlight like she had found a new world where Mark didn't exist. His hands trembled, his chest burned. The woman who cried when he came home late, who fought him over small misunderstandings, who accused him of not giving enough attention, was out there giving her attention to a complete stranger. But before he could even process the betrayal, another message arrived, this time from a man. "I think our wives were on the same trip. We need to talk." That single sentence changed everything. This wasn't one betrayal. This was a chain reaction waiting to explode, and Mark had just lit the fuse. The man who messaged Mark introduced himself as Ethan, Clara's husband. His voice was steady, but Mark could hear the storm behind it. Ethan sent more photos and videos of the same beach trip, the same men, the same nights of betrayal. Minutes later, another voice message arrived from a third man, James, Mia's husband. His message was raw, trembling, angry. "They think we're stupid," James said. "Let's show them we're not." The three men met at a small coffee shop late that evening. The air felt heavy, like the whole world was watching them. None of them drank their coffee. They didn't come to sit. They came to uncover truth. Ethan pulled out a file. They planned everything: the resort, the clubs, the private parties. They lied about their itinerary. They even told us they'd be offline for self-care. James clenched his fists, and they used our money to take their side men out. Mark sat silently, staring at a photo of Hannah kissing a stranger on the beach. His insides twisted like something was clawing at him. "So what do we do?" Mark finally asked. Ethan's expression hardened. "We gather every piece of evidence. We collect everything they try to hide, and when the time comes, we drop the truth right in front of them." The husbands created a private folder and started gathering everything: screenshots, timestamps, receipts, maps, even the resort's camera footage. Resort manager, outraged at what happened, willingly helped. With each new piece of evidence, the men felt their pain turning into strength. What their wives didn't know was simple: they didn't just betray three men. They united them. Now the husbands weren't victims. They were investigators, and they were getting ready for the confrontation that would shake their marriages to the core. When the girls returned from their healing trip, they walked through their doors laughing, glowing, and guilt-free. They smelled like tropical perfume and ocean breeze, not like remorse. Hannah walked in with open arms, expecting Mark to sweep her into a warm embrace. Instead, Mark took a step back. "We need to talk." Hannah blinked, confused. "What now?" "Mark, I'm tired. Mark picked up the remote. The TV flickered on. The first photo appeared, the one of her sitting on a man's lap. Her smile, her hand on his chest, the intimacy in her eyes. Undeniable. Hannah froze, her lips parted. "Mark, I can explain." He didn't respond. He clicked to the next image, then the next. Then the video of her dancing with the stranger like she belonged to him. Her voice cracked. It wasn't what it looked like. Mark whispered, calm and terrifying, "What's his name, Hannah?" She stuttered, I don't know. We were drunk. It was you were sober." He showed her the timestamp, the receipt, the resort footage. Her knees buckled, and she fell onto the couch, crying, her mascara running like black rivers. She begged, reached for him, tried to hold his hand, but he pulled away. Meanwhile, in 2 other homes, Ethan and James were doing the same. Their wives collapsed under the weight of their own lies, crying, apologizing, shaking with fear. Within an hour, the 3 wives called each other in panic. Their voices trembled. They know. Oh my God, they know everything. What are we going to do? Their husbands didn't shout. They didn't break a thing. They simply left the house, together, leaving their wives alone with nothing but the truth. The next morning, the 3 women gathered at Hannah's house. Their eyes were swollen from crying, their voices hoarse. But instead of accountability, they carried excuses. Blame, desperation. This is your fault. Clara, no, Mia started everything. Hannah encouraged us. Don't act innocent. Their apologies weren't for their husbands. Their apologies were for getting caught. Meanwhile, the husbands met again, not to plan revenge, but to heal themselves. They sat in a quiet diner booth, the morning light soft and calm, contrasting the chaos in their hearts. Ethan spoke first. I'm done. Clara crossed a line I can't forgive. James sighed. I want to try, but I need guarantees. I won't be lied to again. Mark leaned back, staring at his untouched coffee. I still love Hannah, but I don't trust her anymore, and love without trust is like a boat without a sail, it won't move. The men didn't encourage each other to stay or leave. They respected every decision. When the wives attempted another wave of apologies, begging for one more chance, the husband agreed to listen, but with rules. No yelling, no shifting blame, no fake tears, only truth. The wives were terrified, because for the first time their husbands weren't emotional. They were controlled, calm, detached, and that scared the women more than anger ever could. They realized something chilling. Their husbands weren't fighting for them anymore. They were fighting for themselves. Mark sat across from Hannah that evening. She looked smaller than he remembered, fragile, ashamed, broken. The woman who once spoke boldly now whispered like every word hurt. I'll do therapy, she said softly. I'll cut off Mia and Clara. I'll earn your trust back. I'll do anything. Please. Mark paused. His heart still loved her, but his mind felt like a locked door. I'm not leaving today, he finally said. But things won't go back to normal. You broke something sacred, and I don't know if it can ever be repaired. Hannah cried silently, her shoulders shaking with guilt, but Mark didn't touch her, not yet, maybe not ever. Ethan, however, made his decision quickly. He filed for divorce the next morning. When Clara dropped to her knees, begging him not to leave her, he simply said, I deserve peace. James gave me one final condition. One lie, just one, and I'm gone. She nodded, terrified, willing to do anything to keep her marriage alive. In the end, the trip meant to heal the women ended up healing the husbands instead. It showed them their worth, their strength, their boundaries, and the truth behind the women they married. 3 husbands met one last time, standing outside the diner where their alliance began. Mark looked at them and said, maybe this is the end of their lies and the beginning of our freedom. Because sometimes betrayal destroys you, but sometimes betrayal wakes you up. And these 3 men woke up stronger than ever.